Hey, what's up, guys? If you're an accountant, I'm going to talk to you about 3 relationships you should be building with, maybe even 4 of them, but 3 for sure that I know will lead to lead generation. And basically, they have the same clientele that you do. So go watch my other videos. We're Feedbackwrench. Basically, we help small businesses, and particularly, we love helping accountants set up these websites and lead generating systems with inbound and lead magnets. But basically, we can build you an amazing website that'll help you generate leads. But we do this for all sorts of businesses too. But in particular, I had built a pretty sweet accounting firm. So I love helping people build accounting firms. So we've helped scores of people with their websites, their marketing, and everything. And if you're trying to build a monthly retainer system, go look up my outsourced accounting videos. I have a whole bunch of them on how I built it. So long story short, there are 3 relationships that you could get connected to that will help you over the long haul get good referrals and good leads, and they will actually work. And maybe there's a 4th one here that I'll talk about. But the number one that you want to go to is, I would call, Fidelity. So Fidelity is kind of interesting. Fidelity will, if you're a CPA and if you kind of get through their process, Fidelity offices are a lot like Vanguard in that Fidelity has the most 401ks across the entire United States. And now this isn't going to get you in front of business owners necessarily, but it will generate conversations with wealthy people. And it's kind of interesting. But basically, you can get retirees all day long if you help them with their taxes. And it's just a good relationship to have. So you would contact your local Fidelity office and you would tell them, hey, I'm a CPA. I help people with their tax planning. I help them kind of with their estate tax planning and everything. And you can really help people kind of do one-time setups. And the idea is that, maybe they're not a small business, but maybe for $1,500, you help them position their assets and kind of do a tax plan for when they do estate planning or whatever that looks like. You could partner with an attorney to get a nice little package set up. But I'm telling you, if you have a good relationship with the Fidelity advisors in your area, and in particular, if you help them with kind of this tax planning thing, that can just be a stream of phone calls that happen. Are they perfect clients? No. The next referral relationship is much better. Okay, the most valuable referral relationship that you can have as an accountant, in my opinion, and I might be wrong, is the commercial business insurance teams. Okay, so the dirty little secret in insurance is it's like the 95-5 rule, right? 95% of the revenue is created by 5%. Usually it's the 80-20, the Pareto principle. No, it's even more aggressive in insurance. There's a lot of people with insurance licenses that don't know how to build great relationships with businesses. And here's the catch. In particular, construction businesses, in order for them to win a contract, have to have proofs of insurance. So any industry that requires a proof of insurance in any way, shape, or form is suddenly going to have a great relationship with their insurance company, right? Now, that doesn't mean that insurance company is going to be open-handed with connecting you to them, but I'll tell you this. Construction companies know their insurance people. They know them well, and you should have that relationship with them. So how does that actually look? Well, first of all, you need to pay it forward. You might need to pay it forward to get to know them and understand, particularly in a construction niche, what kind of things should you know? Get educated about commercial business insurance. In fact, I would say that of all the insurances out there, the ones that you want to wrap your mind around are business and liability insurance, right? So how do you actually get some protection for your outside of what your LLC would protect? How do you get some protection, even whatever it is? So a business insurance firm, usually local, because what'll happen is construction and home services are local. The electricians, the HVAC guys, all of those folks are probably going to have a great relationship with that business. You got to probably pick 1 or 2, but you want to find the high protein one. There's usually a series of things. You have everything from I go to my AmFam guy or State Farm or whatever. You don't want them. You want these independent guys. The independent folks kind of have the value prop that they're going to shop around different options and they'll bring a great value to them. And I'm telling you, you get connected with somebody who's been around a long time, they're going to be a little suspicious, right? So you got to earn their merit over time, but that's important. The second thing that I would do is I would find a good attorney, right? We all know this, knowing a good attorney that can help you with the paperwork of setting up S Corps, LLCs, shareholder agreements, whatever. Build a good relationship with them, okay? And find one attorney that you can kind of feed and send people to. And that's so easy to say. I hate when people, like, somebody who's never done this could easily give that advice, but I'm telling you, it's huge, right? I would say that usually you as an accountant are good for them to know as well. So that's the cool thing is if you build these relationships, they want to meet you. In fact, Nuance Financial, my old tax and accounting firm, got started because what I learned as the insurance and investment guy was that the real shot caller is the CPA, or the real shot caller is the tax professional or that accountant. No matter how big or small things are, they're the ones that basically keep them out of jail by doing things right. So the ultimate credibility lies with you. So you should know that people want to get to know you. Now, all of you in general are very cynical of all sales and overpromising and schlepping and sliming on people, which I would agree with. That being said, you have a lot of clients over time. If you had a nice little book of business as your accounting firm, you will have a whole bunch of clients that need to get more serious about a number of things. Let me just hit on these. So in this attorney, you have to have good paperwork for your S Corps, right? Make sure you have good agreements. You have good, just the whole situation should have an attorney kind of go through it and help them figure it out. If you have any partnerships, right? Helping them decide who's operating agreements, just how are decisions made within a business that have more than one player. Another thing that most of you don't think about is if there's a partner, their spouses, if there's a spouse involved, should probably buy life insurance as a buy-sell situation. Now, that can get expensive, but all you have to do is witness, let's just say a partner is together and they own it 50-50 and one of them dies. If you ever experience that, your heart will go, that was dumb. I really wish they had insurance so that the spouse can buy the other partner out so they don't have all these complications. Another good insurance that you would want to look at and talk to them about is you could put together like a term life with a long-term disability group plan. So all group health insurance plans, which that's going to be the next group, but good benefits, because this is something I need to get figured out too. Long-term disability insurance is super important. Like, you think about all of your entrepreneurs, if all of a sudden they can't do their job, is their income protected? Long-term disability is really hard to protect income. It's kind of goofy, but that's an insurance you should get to know. Long-term disability, not short-term disability, maybe short-term, but usually not. It's usually that long-term disability. If all of a sudden a business owner gets hit in the head, gets migraines so bad, or they just get mental illness, whatever it is, stuff can happen where they can't produce and the whole business crashes. They're actually more at risk than most of them. For life insurance, make sure if anyone depends on somebody like me, I have a lot of term life insurance on me because my family will need help when I die. Make sure that they have a bunch of death benefit, long-term disability, and then you just have your basic liability insurance. The point is, the real crux is commercial insurance, okay? That's the relationship you really want to have, which means you should probably find that commercial guy and buy your insurance through them and build that long-term relationship and then just nurture it over time, right? Send them the Christmas letters, do the little things to build relationships with them over time. The next thing that I would say is if you can find somebody who does small to large health plans, so benefit plans, right? These guys, they're big shooters, man. They're landing like bigger and bigger clients over time. The people that I know, they're trying to land medium-sized manufacturing businesses. If you can get in a relationship with a benefits company, they're huge. They're absolutely huge. Now, they're shooting into that area where people are going to see you more as like an outsourced accountant rather than just somebody who saves in taxes. So the businesses that have a large group plan will look to you to make big decisions, and you can add big, so you better be ready. But whether this is the ADP guy that sells 401k plans, if it's a 401k specialist with a TPA, a third-party administrator, there's a lot of TPAs. Remember, whenever you have something the government wants, there's a whole bunch of bureaucracy. So you have the actual, like the fund, the plan provider, the TPA, the third-party administrator for a 401k plan, and then you have like the plan sponsor and then the people. There's all these levels, but there are these little groups that go around and help rich financial planners set up 401k plans. They're usually called TPAs or third-party administrators. Or there's other ones. There's just consultants. If you can get around benefits companies and build a genuine relationship with them and throw them some bones, it can be good. In fact, we had a Schwab guy that just specialized in helping our guys set up 401k plans. Because in a 401k, you have that traditional 401k where, hey, I'm going to set it up so that I can do a 4% match to myself as the owner and 4% to my employees. But remember, 401ks are set up so that you can only do offerings to your core employees. But there's also this whole series of officer options. So what do you do for your board members and your officers, right? So there's things for CEOs and C-level employees that are not there for regular employees. A good ADP is actually a pretty good one, but there's a whole bunch of these guys out there that are good at helping a business owner kind of, how do you do either defined benefit plans, which are huge. So that's a pension, right? A pension, you sock like $200,000 a year as a contribution, a deductible contribution, but it has to fund a pension, which is like it's an interest rate based investment. So you have to fund the snot out of it so that it pays out guaranteed income. And they're expensive and they're weird. But long story short, 401k plans can have like additional spiffs for officers, and these third-party administrators can help you build 401k plans that help the officers really well in comparison to your everyday employees. We'll just leave it at that. You find some of them, they're shrewd, they're smart, and they know what's going on. You feed that. You find a couple of good medium-sized businesses and feed that. That's good. So again, we got the commercial insurance guy, the attorney, and now we're talking benefit companies. Health insurance is huge and weird and hard. If you can find the health insurance companies, get to know those guys. Again, these guys, if you're a small business person, they'll say, yeah, we like to help you. But generally speaking, they need, 100, 200 plus employees in a business before it makes a ton of sense for them. But you know what's a good account for you? A business owner with 100 to 200 clients. So if you specialize in finding ways to mitigate taxes for them, we only had a couple of these guys. Their tax returns can be clunky. They're often making so much money, you got to play real estate games and help them do some interesting stuff. It's not your typical S Corp company. It's a lot of financial projections too, so you're going to work with a department, right? You're more of a CFO controller, which is really good. But a benefit plan administrator, a TPA, or an actual health insurance company or health insurance sales, there's all these little third party. You see every region has 10 of them, and they help sign up benefits plans. So that's another good one. Another great relationship that you'd want to have would be your local wrap guy. So the guy down the road that wraps pickup trucks in marketing material, okay? So every one of these guys that have their own construction company, that wrap company, those folks have all of these construction guy. The first thing he always does, and it's kind of an important part of his business, but every construction guy goes and gets a new truck or a truck and tries to get the biggest write-off possible, and they wrap that sucker, and that is like their claim to fame. Out here in Elko New Market in Minneapolis, where I am, my whole neighborhood is filled with company trucks. So if you can get to know and just build a good relationship with that person, what you can do is you could even make a lead magnet for them, or like a little giveaway about, hey, 10 ways to write off your pickup truck better. In fact, that's a great lead magnet. It'd actually be a handout that you could leave there. Hey, I'll help you write off this truck and then some, and showing you how a 6,000 pound truck, yada, yada, yada. And you could help them do that, right? So that relationship is kind of and I'm telling you, every metropolitan region or even outstate region has one or two. There's not that many in every section. Like, there's some competition there, but there's enough. Like, that's a great relationship because only business owners talk to them. That and like big corporations. So if you can get a good relationship with them and kind of build into that over time, that's super cool. That can be a fruitful relationship. And then I guess the last thing that I would add is your accountant. Remember that you're the guy or gal that everybody wants to have a relationship with. When it comes down to it, you should network with people and nurture relationships. There should be kind of a thing you do to say hi to people, whether it's on social media or you send them a quick update that's not salesy, that actually shows that you're an accountant, that you love to help people, and you connect with people. And that could be everything from, just calling on people randomly. In fact, the best salespeople you'll see will do that. Which leads me to another one that you'll want to pay attention to, and that's a banker. Bankers are slithery. Some of them are great. Some of them are slimy. Bankers want to get with people to help them cover payroll, to help them build and expand and take on new things, right? And a banker can be, I almost hate it because it's debt a lot of times, but that commercial lender, right? They're usually pretty hesitant to feed you at all, right? But here's what you'll do is when you know how to make books look amazing for them, all you got to do is have one. If you have a client that you've cleaned up books, go to a bank and try and get a loan or try and get a line of credit for payroll or for an expansion or a piece of machinery or whatever it is, a building, right? All of a sudden you will see that they'll start to know you and like you, right? Maybe you just call that person, call that banker and say, hey, I know we sent the financials over. Everything look right to you? Is there anything that you got questions about? Whatever. Nurture the banking relationships, because the dirty little secret is they are the ones who really deeply know all of the big players in town. That's their job. A commercial lender is there to know all of the big players in town, ultimately, right? It takes great intentionality, and they're, because of the nature of lending, and they don't want to be seen as like, oh, they don't tell everybody who they have, right? Because they want business from every construction company, and they don't want it to look like, oh, you work with Heffler, I'm never going to work with you because I'm Johnson, and you like Heffler, you hate me, right? No, they want to work with everybody. So they're a little slinky. They're a little hard to nail down, but it can be really, really good. In fact, a lot of the times, another good one to know would be like the heavy machinery world, right? So I never tapped into this, but it's something that I could if I ever needed to. But tractor dealerships, so the Caterpillar dealer, the Caterpillar sales guy, they're usually too busy to even have enough time to talk to you. But I'll tell you what, they do B2B sales. And if you got to know, whether it's the John Deere, the Bobcat, or whatever it is, it's agriculture and business, right? Construction. And especially like small skid steers and small equipment, that's a great relationship to have. If you tapped into that, they know a good salesperson for a cat dealer or a John Deere dealer or a Bobcat dealer is going to know, not every farmer, but that's not really a good client for you usually. What you really want is the businesses, right? So, I mean, go up and down and just look at skid steers and compact tractors are where entrepreneurs are born, and they are huge. So that could be another relationship. So hopefully that helps you guys. That's a whole bunch of relationships that you can create for referrals. They can be really good. They can be mediocre, whatever. If you want help with anything, if you want a great website, I tell you what, check out our websites. If you go to feedbackwrench.com, you can take a look at our work. You can see what we do. We also do lead generation, SEO, paid ads, and I'm telling you, we're the best. No, I feel confident that my team will take such darn good care of you, and we will make sure that everything looks awesome. Hopefully this helps you have a spectacular business moving forward. Good luck. God bless.